The Rafah attack, a catalyst for global outrage. The recent attack in Rafah, which claimed the lives of over 40 Palestinians, has sent shockwaves across the international community. This horrific event, marked by its brutality and disregard for civilian life, has drawn widespread condemnation and reignited calls for a swift and peaceful resolution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The attack, which targeted a crowded residential area, is a stark reminder of the human cost of this protracted conflict. The international community has been quick to denounce the attack, with world leaders expressing their outrage and offering condolences to the families of the victims. The United Nations Security Council held an emergency meeting to discuss the escalating violence, calling for restraint and a de-escalation of hostilities. The attack in Rafah underscores the urgent need for a just and lasting peace in the region, one that guarantees the security and human rights of both Israelis and Palestinians. The international community's response to the Rafah attack highlights the global significance of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. This decades-long conflict, characterized by violence, mistrust, and political deadlock, has far-reaching implications for regional and global stability. The attack serves as a grim reminder that the pursuit of peace in the Middle East remains an elusive goal, one that demands renewed international commitment and a concerted effort from all parties involved. The Rafah attack is not an isolated incident, but rather the latest chapter in a long and tragic saga of violence. It is a sobering reminder of the fragility of peace and the urgent need for a political solution that addresses the root causes of the conflict. The international community must seize this opportunity to re-engage in meaningful dialogue and work towards a future where Israelis and Palestinians can coexist peacefully and securely. The attack in Rafah has drawn sharp criticism from governments worldwide, with Spain, Ireland, and Norway emerging as vocal critics of the ongoing violence. These nations, each with their own unique perspectives on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, have called for an immediate end to hostilities and a return to the negotiating table. Their pronouncements reflect a growing international consensus that the status quo is untenable and that a peaceful resolution is long overdue. Spain, with its historical ties to the region and its commitment to international law, has condemned the attack as a violation of human rights and international humanitarian law. Spain reiterates its firm condemnation of all attacks against the civilian population and urges all parties to fully respect international humanitarian law.
What's happening in Rafah? Let's talk about it. Last night, the IDF thwarted 2 rocket launchers aimed at Kerem Shalom humanitarian crossing. Throughout the day, we facilitate the entry of over 100 humanitarian aid trucks into southern Gaza through that same crossing. This is just a part of hundreds of aid trucks going into Gaza through additional crossings today. What was Hamas doing at that same time? Hamas launched a barrage of rockets towards central Israel. Millions of civilians in Tel Aviv, Herzliya, and other cities had to run to shelter as Hamas fired rockets. It has been almost 8 months of war, and each side still has the same intentions. Hamas still holds 125 hostages. Hamas still targets as many civilians as possible with no care for the people in Gaza. We are still doing everything possible to facilitate the entry of aid into Gaza for the people of Gaza. The IDF is fighting Hamas, not the people of Gaza.
The international community, led by organizations like the United Nations and the European Union, must play a more proactive role in mediating between the parties and facilitating meaningful negotiation.